Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning,
Hello,
everybody. Hello. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? So we're gonna try to get through this. We're gonna try to get through this show. This has been
It's
just not it's not been a good
I can't have coffee, so I know that's like small potatoes in the world of problems this morning.
Right.
But
it just adds to it. Adds to the layers of issues that are happening.
This is the kind of morning where that would be somewhat helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, I'm torn between like I'm of two minds right now. I'm of the mind where our people, the people who tune in for our morning live stream, are either and that this can be happening at the same time. They can either be counting on us for news and to talk about and talk through news of the day, and or they can be counting on us to bring some light and joy in the midst of terrible news. And I don't know who is where on that front. And so trying to
balance
is tough. That's a tough thing to do.
The toughest thing. So we're just going to try to give a little bit of balance. It's not like we can ignore what happened yesterday. So we have to talk through that a little bit. And I think some people want us to talk through it a little bit, and we're going to tell you how we feel about that, because that's why you come here every day. So we're going to do the best we can to get through that. And then, we're also going to tell you some other things too. So we're just going to try to provide a balance on that.
And we'll do that as soon as we just remind everybody about Genucel. And the reason that I'm saying that specifically this morning is because I needed all of it for my under eye area this morning.
As did I.
Literally all of it.
As did I.
And you guys, their immediate effects, which is exactly what you use for the under eye area, is included in their most popular package, which is super on sale right now. So if you go to genucel.com/chicks, you can get up to 60% off of their skincare package. That most popular package, again, includes the under eye stuff. It includes the ultra retinol, which is amazing. And if you join the rewards program, it's 10% off your whole order. Plus they send you a sample gift set. So it's really a good time to check them out. genucel.com/chicks. I think that you will appreciate my name today.
Oh, that's so great. And congratulations to him, right?
Congratulations indeed.
How much do we love that? I mean, listen, I was a Tennessee girl, and I know you're Georgia by marriage. And, but I am I'm giving him a standing ovation, because I really love him as a human being. I just love him. I just really do. And I grew up in Georgia. So I remember Herschel Walker was everybody loved him.
And he's going to be up against, of course, that Warnock guy who's a complete lunatic. So hopefully that race goes the way that it should go. And we'll get into the Georgia results, because there's a lot to get into on that whole front too. I had my emotional snap last night after, now we know that 19 kids have died at the hands of this crazy person, along with 2 teachers. And it's just an unthinkable, unimaginable loss for those families. And so my husband, I went to the bedroom because I had to pack for the hospital this morning. And I went to do that. And he came and said, "Do you want to watch Biden's address to the nation?" And I was like, no. So I didn't do that. And I simply heard about it then this morning. And so I didn't want to watch it. I read through his remarks. They were exactly what I thought that they would be.
Right.
And so I thought, well, instead of having to put everybody through that, why don't we just allow Tucker Carlson to express, I feel like he expressed my thoughts about Biden's speech very well. And I only read it. I didn't listen to the yelling part. But Tucker mentions that. And I thought we could just play that instead of playing Joe Biden. And here is Tucker's immediate reaction, because, of course, this happened during Tucker's show. So here's how he reacted immediately afterwards.
Will you go to Texas, sir?
President of the United States, frail, confused, bitterly partisan, desecrating the memory of recently murdered children with tired talking points from the Democratic Party. dividing the country in a moment of deep pain rather than uniting. His voice rising, amplified only as he repeats the talking points he repeated for over 35 years in the United States Senate. Partisan politics being the only thing that animates him. Unfit for leadership of this country. Will Cain is a man we trust.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Like the gun control thing, it does nothing. It will do nothing. I'm so tired of this crap. I'm so tired of these people saying it. You know what will help is locking down our schools. There are so many schools hardening the schools. There are so many schools you just walk right into. The one yesterday was one of them.
Yeah.
Lock them down. We spend so much money on so much other bullshit. Why don't we spend it on our kids? I mean, this is the thing. Think of all the money that we pump into all this other stuff. I'd rather my money be put into our schools where our kids will be kept safe from lunatics, because anybody can just walk into these schools. I mean, you've got concerts, like you walk into a concert, everybody's patted down, or there's metal detectors, there's security people there, airports, sports events. I mean, I remember you and I, when we worked at the radio station, WIBC, there were like 3 levels of security just to get into that building. Yeah. When I worked at Eli Lilly, it's a pharmaceutical company I worked at in Indianapolis, I swear I had to go through 4 levels of security just to get to my desk. Why don't we have that in schools? I will never understand that. And for 20 something years, they've been talking about this stuff and they do nothing. Our legislators,
and I get the whole, because of course, you know, the other side is like, we need to ban assault weapons or whatever. And you know what, there's a part of me, and of course I don't actually want this to happen, right? But there is a part of me that feels like, wouldn't it be something if, I don't know, for just like 6 months, we could just do that. We could just say, you know what, we're going to do a test run of what it would look like to give Democrats everything they want and see what the results are. And that's the problem, is that it would change nothing, because our culture is rotting, and this kid didn't have a dad, and that's so freaking common, and we don't ever address those things. And I don't honestly know how to address those things, because those are huge things.
We address those things. We've talked about culture rot. We've talked about this stuff for years. We address it. But the problem is that the country, because we're so divided, we don't want to come together, and we don't want to together talk about these things, because they want to blame. And this, it's like, it's constantly this and that. And these legislators that we have believe that somehow they can legislate evil. You can legislate a culture rot. You can't legislate that. You can't legislate it. We wrote about that in our book. Oh my God, that was in 2014. We wrote about that. We wrote about we have a whole chapter on 2A and how you cannot legislate evil. You can't. There are always going to be evil people in the world. There's always going to be evil in the world. So on the back end, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about that evil? That's how you need to handle it, because you cannot make it go away. And for some reason, they believe that you can. They believe that if we just get rid of all the guns, then all of this will go away. That's not how it's not going to work.
Then explain Waukesha. How does that go away? I mean,
and not only that, but here in Texas, my daughter's soon to be high school, just a couple weeks ago, there was a kid that got stabbed in the bathroom. Okay. And he died. Wow. Okay. You didn't hear about that on the news, because this stuff happens all over the country. I mean, there's violence everywhere, and there's violence in our schools everywhere. Now it was a knife, obviously it was a stabbing. So, I mean, it's like, I'm just saying, like, there are measures that need to be put in place for these schools. And at the same time, there's also a whole conversation, like we're talking about culture rot. And I mean, we have to do something other than what we've been doing. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. And this conversation of, we need to ban the guns, we need to ban the guns. You've put gun control in many cities across the country. It does not work.
Brenda, thank you so much. Pamela, thank you so much. She says, Godspeed today, praying for you and for Texas. Julie, thank you very much. Leah, thank you so much for those super stickers, you guys. I've got another clip to play from Tucker's show last night, because he was talking to Buck Sexton, and they were talking together about the reaction that we always see, these conversations, the way they always play out after these incidents. And I thought, it was just an interesting conversation, interesting points that Buck made. Here that is.
When someone dies, you pause and observe a moment of silence because it's not about you. It's about the thing that connects us all in the end, which is death. And you pause in reverence before that. You don't immediately start talking about yourself. You narcissist. Well, I have a law that I could pass. No, stop. I think it's a measure of someone's character.
And I think that it also just goes to show that it's become so normalized in the aftermath of these shootings. It's not even that you will hear a political narrative of Republicans are failing to do what I want them to do on this slew of issue. It's that Republicans are evil and actually don't oppose this. You will see that online from lunatics, but they have blue checks, and some are even in elected office. They'll pick. Yeah. You played you showed the tweet about Ted Cruz. I mean, this is insanity. I mean, the people that are pushing this narrative at a time of extreme divisiveness and horror that we all feel are just making the situation worse across the board. They want to have a conversation about the flags that were missed, about the problems in the system that could stop an obvious psychopath. This person, the person that was the shooter in Buffalo, these are obviously mentally deranged and evil people. That's a conversation worth having. But pushing magazine limitations or whatever the issue may be in the moment just goes to show that there's some people who cannot get beyond themselves, even in a moment of national tragedy like this.
Yes, children have died. Stop for a second. I agree with that. But
yeah. Can we just not?
Yeah, and and you and I, before we got on, we were talking about how it just our culture has changed so much over the past, I don't know, 20 years, probably, maybe more. But there are a lot of kids that not kids, 20 somethings that I know. People in my family, y'all, like extended family and stuff, conservatives that are saying out loud, I don't think we're going to have kids because I don't want to bring them into this world because of just the fact. And that shows you that there is a distinct and just, you can see it, just a tangible culture rot. These are good kids. And I get that. That's where I get really emotional because I hate that these kids, like these good kids, don't want to have kids.
It means that the woke and the crazies win.
Right.
And that's what's so frustrating about that, because then it's when the best people, the people that should be having kids, the kids you're talking about who should be having kids, stop because they feel such despair and hopelessness. That's when it just is. I don't know how do you get past that? Like last night when I had my literal emotional breakdown to my husband, God bless him, he thought I was worried about my surgery, but really it was just like the weight. I felt the weight of the world. I mean, at this point, I'm like looking forward to being under for 2 hours just so I can escape from this complete shitstorm that we're right in the middle of. But I was like in such despair about it. And I was like, did we make a mistake even choosing South Carolina? Like, should we just be taking our closest loved ones and like finding a place in a shack on the beach in Belize or somewhere that nobody thinks about and that doesn't have this overwhelming responsibility that the United States has to like be this shining beacon, and we're failing miserably at that. I just like lost it last night. You know what I mean? It's just because it's just
overwhelming.
Too much.
It's overwhelming. Much. It is too much. Yeah. I mean, I totally get it. And like, I'm in the car last night and I'm all upset, and I was telling you, I hate being upset in front of my daughter. So, cause you try not to do that, right? Cause then they get upset,
right.
At least cause she's 12. So she gets in the car. She was at a swim party last night. She gets in the car. She's like, "What's wrong, mommy?" And I told her what happened. I told her because she knows about school shootings. I mean, that these kids have been raised with them because they know, I mean, my God, it's something that we never had to deal with. And so that, just to begin with, that's heartbreaking, right? How do you explain that to a child? So I told her that it happened and we talked about it a little bit, and I was upset. And I'm just like, people are just so lost, and people are just, and then she got a little upset with me, and she was like, she goes, God, everything just sucks, Mom. I mean, the country just sucks. People are just so lost. People are so lost. And then I just looked at her and I said, listen, you know, you got to remember, like, that whole Esther verse from the Bible. You were born for such a time as this. So just remember that, because there are good kids out there who are just like you, who were born for this time. So you have to be like, you're one of the strong ones. You're one of the good ones. There are good kids. So that's the positive, right? Is that there are good kids out there, and there are good people out there, and we just gotta hold on, and we've got to do better, right? We got to do better.
Yes. Really quickly, and I know it seems just like preposterous that we have to do this in the middle of one of these kinds of shows, but we do have sponsors that do need to be recognized, and one of those is the Upside app that you can download for free that will save you money on your gas purchases, because every time you fill up, which you know you have to do, we all do, and gas prices are just continuing to go up and up and up, at least you can get some cash back with no obligation, no cost to you. There's no tricks about this. It is a free app that will give you cash back for every fill up, and it'll tell you gas stations in your area where you can get the most bang for your buck. It'll also give you some discounts and cash back on restaurants that you might be already visiting. So check out that free Upside app. If you use promo code CHICKS, you're going to get 25 cents per gallon cash back or more on your first fill up. So definitely consider doing that. I did want to share my.
Wait, real quick. I wanted to just tell everybody that our podcast with Jack Carr will be coming out today, and he is such a dear, sweet man. We had such a wonderful time talking to him. So brilliant, and you know, it also, not that this matters, but now we're like 2 degrees of separation from Chris Pratt. Does it matter? Because I mean, that was kind of cool that we. So, but anyways, it was just a really neat interview, and it was insight into somebody who's, you know, was a Navy SEAL, and he became a thriller author, and he has, you know, movies, and he's a great guy. He's very down to earth, and I think you guys will really enjoy that podcast. So definitely,
and it will be like no other interview you hear with him. We can always guarantee you that.
Totally. We ask questions that nobody else asks. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen because I wanted to play this insane take by a CNN analyst on what police and what law enforcement should have been doing in the moments, like just the moments in the aftermath of yesterday's tragedy. This is the kind of crazy that the CNN analyst was saying. I don't even understand her point. So we can unpack and untangle that. But listen to this.
From an investigation standpoint, I'm going to do what the facts tell me now. So I've got demographics, first of all, an 80% Hispanic school district. So the most important thing for the federal government to do right now is to say there will be no immigration enforcement during this period in that area. It has a large immigration population. You want parents with their kids. You don't want people hiding right now. And we need to make that clear ASAP because of the political issues in Texas.
What the hell is she talking about? What is she talking about? How would that have changed this lunatic? How? Somebody needs to explain that to me, because I don't understand that. That's like the worst take ever, CNN. Why? God, I swear.
I don't even understand what we just saw. Like that doesn't make any sense.
I don't either. Like she went from point A to point X.
Right.
And it was just
and there were, I guess we should point out, for those people who have have been avoiding the news with good reason, the killer himself, who obviously we're not going to name, but he was born in the United States. This has nothing to do with immigration issues. He was born in North Dakota and had only recently moved to Texas.
Right.
So what the most important thing to know about him, other than that he is an insane psychopath, was that he didn't have a dad. And that is a common theme. That is one of the underlying problems that is contributing to the culture rot that we have.
Right. All of these dudes. All of
what that chick was saying.
Right.
No idea.
I have no idea. Yeah. Like, what did it, like, I can't even, I won't even like try to break down what she said, because she is an idiot. But these guys, these boys, all of these boys, it is a common denominator. If you look across now, if somebody could do a study on this and look at all of them and see they're fatherless. There's no father in the home. There's no father figure. There's no father. You tell me that doesn't have an effect. You tell me that doesn't, that does not contribute to some of this like moral decay and the culture rot that we're experiencing in this country. The fact that like the family unit is no longer respected. The fact that life is no longer respected. Life, it's just, okay.
It's like we should see this coming, you know? I mean, this is what else could be the result of all of those things other than just total chaos like this? I mean,
because look back at when when I was in school in the 80s, I would have never imagined in my wildest nightmares anything that we're seeing today.
Yeah.
None of this, you guys, none of it. And our schools were open and free. People walked in and out. And we had weird kids. We had weird kids who were loners. And I mean, there were a couple of them here and there, and some of whom who are quiet and all that kind of, but I mean, we would have, none of us, that, you're right there with me on this.
Yeah.
We would have never in a million years just even thought about any of what we've seen over the past 20 years. It's unimaginable.
It really is. And part of it too, in addition to all those things that we just mentioned, like the fatherless homes, the lack of a father figure, the traditional family no longer being held up in any kind of high regard. It's also the little things that all contribute, like the fact that we are constantly caving in to the whims and demands of the woke, who are the craziest among us. The fact that we, for example, that schools now are like, oh, we can't recognize Mother's Day and Father's Day because that'll offend other families. That's the kind of bullshit that literally, even though that seems so little, all of those things piled on top of each other are what contributes to the total rot of the culture. And so I wasn't going to play this now, but I think now that we're having this discussion, it fits. Here's just a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I think this guy that you're about to see is a teacher, okay? And naturally, he's got the purple hair and the nose piercing and he's already trans, okay? And he's talking about needing to raise money from his TikTok followers to help medically transition his kid. And when you look at this creature, and I don't have a better word for this creature, it's like you look at him and you're going to be like, really? You have a child that has gender dysphoria? Who could have ever seen that?
Yeah. Shocker.
And this is what we're doing. This is all contributing to the rot. Wait until you see this. And I don't even have the whole thing, but you'll hear a little bit of it and that'll be plenty. Here it is.
So for those of you that don't know, my name is Lyric. Today making a video that isn't like the other content that I typically make. Basically, I'm raising money to help fund my son's transition-related costs. I'm sharing this with his permission. Basically, we already have a diagnosis of gender dysphoria for him.
Oh my God.
We have gotten his blood work done, and we need to start him on puberty blockers as soon as possible. Now, I transitioned later, so I wasn't familiar with how puberty blockers worked. Basically, my insurance doesn't cover this, which is wonderful, right?
I
mean, that's enough, right? Like, you get the idea because
we get the idea. We get the idea. Nobody saw this coming. Yeah. And
so he's talking about a child who is younger than puberty, you guys, because he's needing to buy drugs with the help of money from other TikTokers. Yeah. He's needing to buy drugs to stop his son from going through puberty. That's fucking psycho. I'm sorry for my language, but this is another. This contributes to the problem.
It's completely psycho. Yeah, and we all. I say we all. There are people out there who are wondering. They're like, oh my God, we should blame something. Let's blame the guns. Or maybe we could sit down and have a discussion about why the world or why our country is so messed up right now. Maybe we could have that discussion. But the thing is that discussion will never happen because they're going to continue to politicize these deaths.
Yeah.
They're going to politicize it. They're going to use it for legislation, that is not going to help unless we, make our voices known and say, listen, this is exactly what needs to happen. We need to lock down these schools. We need to, and maybe that starts at the local level. That would be, so we don't feel completely helpless. To walk away from this video today. The only thing I could say is change starts at the local level, and you've got to do something, right? At least I know, like, that's what I'm going to start saying, at least in my local area. I know there are some schools around here that are not locked down enough. I mean, I don't think they're locked, at least for my liking. I would like it if they had like 2 levels of locking down, where parents need to be buzzed in one door and then buzzed in another door. I'm serious. There's no reason that anybody should be able to walk in a freaking school at this point. And that should have happened 20 years ago. Back when Columbine happened, that should have happened.
Right.
Like, this is insanity that we're still talking about this. So that's one. But yeah, I mean, culture that's a huge part of this discussion, and no one ever wants to talk about it. No one.
And I think it's probably, partly because it feels so overwhelming. And I do have empathy. Like, I know everybody's talking about this impassioned plea that I think it was Chris Murphy, he was like getting down on his knees, begging for action. And I actually feel empathy for that side of the aisle and for his feelings, because I totally understand and also feel that helplessness and that like just primal need to do something, anything. It's just that what we want to do are very different things. But we all feel like the same when it comes to just that helpless horror about what happened. So I mean, I get it. And that's the common ground that we should be working from, instead of just where we are, which is just so divided.
And liberal or conservative, you just want your kid to be able to go to school and be safe. Right. I mean, it's like, we're all human. Don't we all want that?
Yeah.
So can't we just figure it out? I mean, this shouldn't be brain surgery. This is not that difficult. We should be able to sit down as adults. We should be able to sit down as adults, or our freaking elected officials should be able to sit down, and they should have been able to figure out by now, here are some things that we could do. Okay, fine. We'll give a little bit on this, but we want to lock down the schools. We'll give a little bit on that, but we want to do X, Y, Z. I mean, it should have been done by now. These people talk too much and they don't do. And that's where I get frustrated. I just get so frustrated.
Real quickly, we can just mention that Georgia, the state of Georgia, had its highest voting turnout in the history of basically ever, it goes completely against the Democrat narrative, which is that Georgia voting laws like swung the state right back into Jim Crow era. In fact, Fox put together a nice little montage of some of the more crazy liberal lunatics out there saying just that. Look at this.
It marks the last day of what has been a record-breaking period of early voting in Georgia.
They're going to lock off every way that you can vote. This is the end of democracy in America. This is the beginning of the South Africa strategy. It's old school American. It's Jim Crow American.
Very much sort of reminiscent of Jim Crow era tactics that are designed to have a chilling effect.
I think you can at least say that it is Jim Crow adjacent.
This is a party that does not like the browning of America. This is a party that is cheating at the polls.
It's voter suppression. It's the new Jim Crow.
This is the perfect time for them to use their political leverage to stand up and say, no, we're not going back to the Jim Crow era.
The president himself said these feel like Jim Crow laws. What's your take on whether it is or isn't?
I say it is. I mean, I did grow up under Jim Crow laws.
I mean, so now they had the record turnout. So now what? What's your argument now? Well, Stacey Abrams in Georgia, she continues to insist that just ignore like the actual facts, you guys. Just ignore that, because here's what she says.
Question about voter suppression and voter turnout is causation without correlation. I'm sorry, you can make mistakes even when you know what you're talking about. It's correlation without causation. We know that increased turnout has nothing to do with suppressant.
What? Really?
Okay.
Really? Oh
what?
My God. I cannot with this woman. I swear. Does she know that she's a loser? Does she know that?
I don't know if she's still, has she conceded the last governor's race?
Like, okay, Hillary. All right, Hillary 2.0. God, these women are just annoying AF. I cannot with them. You lost.
And did you hear how she was she got a lot of flack for this because she was basically saying Georgia sucks, that it's the worst state to live in ever. So she got a lot of flack for that. And now I heard her yesterday say that it was inartful the way that she described it, but now she's using a whole new word. Listen to this.
Students have had a field day with your comment about this is the worst state to live in. Was that a mistake?
I had an inelegant delivery of a statement that I will keep making, and that is that Brian Kemp is a failed governor who doesn't care about the people of Georgia.
Okay.
Really?
It was inelegant.
It's inelegant. Yeah. Listen, if Georgia's so bad, then why? Why? This is the thing. If it's I say that about anybody who lives in America and says America sucks, then go. You know, it's like get a one-way ticket to Venezuela, or here's a better thought, North Korea. Go there. God. Georgia, listen, I grew up in Georgia. Georgia's lovely. It's lovely.
We need a sack of whack.
I've got one. I've actually got two. So I'm going to start with this one. It's something that I think everybody should have in their life. I'm planning on ordering some. The Idaho Potato Commission has released limited edition potato perfume. And it's just called no, wait, I'm sorry. I was going to say fries, but it's frites. Is that how you pronounce it?
Frite.
Frite.
Spell it. Is it Frites?
Yes, ma'am.
Then that's frite in French.
Oh, it's frites. Frites. It's so French. Okay, so listen. So they announced. Okay, so it's out. This was back in February. Okay, so I don't know. It may not still be there, but I want it. Okay, and I would imagine that you probably still get it because they said the bottles are $1.89. They sold out quickly, but social media users can still get it. I think they can still get it. It's probably out there. I would imagine you can still get bottles of this, but I did not know it existed. I want this.
Will you smell like a potato? Is that the idea?
It smells like freshly cooked French fries. I am all about this.
You know what they should have named it is Stelter.
Yes, but then everybody would have been like, "Ew, yeah." No, it would have never sold. Okay, and then listen, I have a second one. It's a double dose because we need a little extra whack today. Okay, there was a pizza company, and this is a company in, I don't know. Oh, it's in Wales. It's in Newport, South Wales. Okay. They were handed the title of having the worst name ever recently because they had a problem with their website. Okay. I'm not going to tell you their name. I'm just going to show you the sign. I hope you can see that. Can you see the sign?
Tilt it a little bit more towards, there you go. No, I cannot see that.
Okay, it says
pizza.
It says like, well, oh crap, I wish you could see it. Can you see it? Can you guys see it?
Barely.
Okay, it says well shit alien pizza is basically what it says, which is not what it should say. It says well shit, it's WELSHITALIAN pizza as well. It
Welsh like Italian.
Well, yes, it's Welsh Italian pizza, but it looks like Welsh shit alien pizza on their website. Like a lot of people were like, why did you name your company Welsh shit alien pizza? Why'd you do that? Even though alien is not spelled correctly, but people don't know how to spell anymore. But I thought that was so
God.
I thought that was so cute. So anyways, it was like, that was just a cute little blunder from a little pizza company. So now they're known as the Welsh shit alien pizza company.
I love that. I actually think they should run with that. They should own it and just embrace it.
They should have like an alien, little person as their. I think so too. See, I would totally do that too. But they were like, "Oh my God!" They were mortified about it, and they were really upset because it's the Welsh Italian and not Welsh shit alien. Anyways, those are my two little sack of whacks. We needed a couple food.
I love that
whack stories. So there you go. Good.
Also, really quickly, wanted to mention that Sarah Huckabee Sanders won her primary for Alabama. No, Arkansas. Right?
Just open the door. Yes,
Arkansas.
I think so. Yes, Arkansas. I'm sorry.
Governor.
My dog just opened the door.
And now there is speculation that if Donald Trump runs again in the next presidential election, that he would choose her as his running mate if she wins the governor's race.
That is interesting.
It's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to see who Ron DeSantis picks, but
Yes, same. Also, we didn't play any of the clips here because it was just unbearable to even pick one of the whole slew of unbearability, which was Kellyanne Conway's appearance on The View yesterday. If you feel masochistic today, check it out. It was literally just a complete crap storm because Kellyanne Conway is promoting her new book. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. I just couldn't. Not today. Not today.
Yeah.
I could
not today. Yeah.
Right. What I can do today is tell you that it's time for My Pillow Talks. My Pillow slippers on sale right now. Get you some at mypillow.com/chicks. It is time for dogs and most especially huskies. And I got to have a lot of huskies today because I'm about to get my heart worked on and I need them. And I'm not sorry about it.
Nope, not sorry at all.
And I don't even remember which huskies they are. I have a lot of dogs to show you today. Here's the first one. This is because their beds got cleaned. They're so mad. They're all standing on couches and like windowsills, and they're just mad because their beds got picked up to get cleaned. So they're all yelling.
What babies? What
I
babies?
know, right?
You've seen that thing that's been going around. It's I think Instagram and TikTok where it's like 100 years ago. You realize you had to hunt for your food to get it. Yeah, and it's just like stills of dogs, just like under blankets and like on couches and in beds and stuff. So our dogs.
Oh my God, so our dog. And they've got like the cucumbers over their eyes.
Right.
And like
they're getting pampered.
They're so spoiled.
Yeah.
So spoiled. All right, here's another. Sing.
And then he's like,
that's my favorite part.
The end. That's what it was. I love it.
At the end where he's like, I don't know what's happening here.
He's like an ambulance.
Oh my God. I love that so much.
It's like a dog ambulance. I love it.
Now this caption, if you can't read it, says, hopefully someday I'll grow into my intelligence, but right now, not
hopefully
so much.
I'll grow into my intelligence.
Oh my God.
I can't get out, Mommy. I can't. How do I get out? Labs, man. Labs.
Labs. That is the greatest. So cute.
He's so frustrated.
I love how she's like, it's right there. Right.
Maybe if I climb over, maybe I can climb over it.
Oh my God. Oh.
He's so mad. He's so mad he can't figure it out. It's too
right
hard.
There, dude. It's right there.
Now, dogs can also come in really handy for cleanups, as you know. Like anytime you spill anything on the floor in your kitchen as you're cooking, if you've got a dog, you are totally taken care of. But you're also taken care of if you're a baby. I got you, boo.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
That just cracks me up. And
He's
then
like,
finally,
are those peas? Because I like those.
Then finally, I have a video of a teeny tiny, I think it's a Chihuahua, one of those itty bitty ankle biting, nervous, shaking dogs, who is allowing itself to be bullied by a chicken. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Okay, all right. Come on.
You know what? I'm on the chicken side in that one. I'm on I'm on the chicken side. I really am.
Why?
Because that dog looked like a little asshole. He was kind of mean. I mean, the chicken's just trying to eat too. Just let the
chicken's supposed to be outside. The chicken food is outside.
Is it supposed to be outside? I feel like it was invited inside.
Well, I love the caption because they wrote, "A chicken is essentially a velociraptor if you only weigh 4 pounds."
It's true though, man. It was like roosters are brutal. Roosters can hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember Carl?
Remember Carl?
We don't speak about Carl anymore, you guys.
He is to never be named again.
Nope.
Anyway, you guys, I'm going to get surgery this morning and I'm leaving in about 45 minutes. So if you could just sort of keep those prayers and good thoughts coming. I'll be there overnight. Sounds like that's probably a done deal. According to from my visit yesterday, they said that's pretty typical. So I'll be there overnight. Hopefully I'll just be awake and bored and maybe I'll be able to check in. So that's my hope. And so, yeah, that's happening today.
You guys pray for our girl. Just pray for our girl. All right. Everybody lift her up and make sure that you're praying for her extra hard today. And we're going to be thinking about you, Mary. Okay.
Thanks. It'll be at 10 a.m. So just so you know, if you want to specify your timeliness of your prayers, that's when that's happening. So anyway, thank you. Thank you very much in advance and for all the prayers that you've already sent. So appreciate that.
Okay. All right, you guys, bring it in. Big hug. Big hug today. Oh,
extra huge.
Everybody gets extra big hugs today, as we all need extra big hugs today. You guys, we are not having a show tomorrow, obviously.
Yes.
And then we'll see what happens on Friday. We'll just kind of let you know. We'll let you know what goes on Friday, okay?
Is it too soon or has enough time passed where I could alert people what's going on Friday with an Ashley Judd photo, a terrible Ashley Judd photo, or is it still too soon after her mom's death?
I don't know. There's going to be a lot of people who say it's too soon. No, if it were me, I would be okay with it because I'm me. But there's going to be there's going to be a lot of people out there who are like, I'm leaving. You're terrible. So there's going to be that. I'm just being honest. So I would just wait and maybe just put up a really awful picture of Brian Stelter or something.
Okay. A potato picture.
Yeah, put up a potato picture. That would be great.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Now there are people that are saying it's not too soon, but point taken. Maybe I'll just wait a few more weeks for that.
Cash is barking at me.
He's like, you brought it in. Why are you still talking?
It's exactly what he's saying right now. God. Yeah. God, he's being a jerk.
Do you give them treats right after this? Is that why?
No. They eat. I feed them before I get on the show. I feed both the dogs and let them out, and then they chill. Oh, he's being such a jerk right now. He's scratching on the door.
Gosh.
God.
Okay. All right, Cash.
Yeah, all right. It's time to go. You guys, Cash says so. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Mary, we love you, and we'll be thinking about you.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone.